And by this time, you know, people say, and then I
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening, and we are here to have our public hearing for the fiscal year 25 budget for MSAD 44, for the general fund, and for adult education. And first order of business this evening is to elect a moderator.
Nominate Vern Maxfield.
We have a nomination for Vern Maxfield. We have a second. Are there any other nominations this evening? Seeing none. All those in favor, please vote. Thank you very much, Vern. The man of the hour.
Yes, that's.
Your script, sir?
My script.
No, just go for it.
I, Vern Maxfield, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof, so help me God. I, Vern Maxfield, do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent upon me as moderator of this meeting according to the Constitution and the laws of the state, so help me God.
Thanks, sir.
Here we go.
We'll start with
Yes. I think the first order of business is hear from Aaron. Great skills at presenting the budget.
Good evening. My name is Erin Foley. I'm the chair of the MSAD 44 School Board and a longstanding member of the Finance Committee. It is my pleasure to welcome you here tonight and to thank you for taking the time to attend or watch the public budget meeting to consider the FY25 MSAD 44 General Fund and Adult Education budgets. This is the first step of a two-stage process for approval of the budget. The action taken here tonight will need to be validated as part of the June 11th referendum. This evening, members of the Finance Committee will present an abbreviated version of the proposed budgets. We will outline reasons for increases and or decreases that can be seen in each of the cost centers and provide some historical comparisons. A description of what each cost center entails is located on the back page of your budget review flyer. Although we are proceeding with this abbreviated presentation, we do have a detailed slideshow available and are prepared to go through that as well if that proves to be the desire of the group. The slideshow has also been posted on the MSAD 484 website and the Facebook page. Of course, we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have along the way. Mark Kenny, our superintendent of schools, and our business manager, Deb Martin, will also be available to provide any additional information that might be helpful and to prevent the slideshow if that is deemed necessary. As you will see, the overall increase to the general fund budget is 9.8%. Some of the factors contributing to this increase are the same ones impacting so many of us at home. Increased fuel and utility costs, necessary repairs and improvements to our buildings, and increased transportation costs have all contributed to influence the proposed budget. Excuse me. The district is also contending with a reduction of nearly $400,000 in state aid for FY25. It is important to note that our local funding formula percentages shift this year as well. Each town's obligation will be based on 88% property valuation and 12% student enrollment. Adult education is thriving and is currently offering a variety of programs. The budget for FY25 is $162,050, which is an increase of roughly $30,000 from FY24. The increase will accommodate growth in the program and is comprised primarily of positions. Since that program saw reduced activity during the pandemic, we are pleased that we will again be able to cover this year's local share through the availability of carryover funds that accumulated during that time. As a result, no local funds will need to be raised to support that budget this year. In an attempt to minimize the impact on taxpayers, the Finance Committee met weekly for months to meticulously review all aspects of the budget and attempt to carefully offset increases whenever possible. The committees met with administrators and department heads to better determine the current needs of the district, then conducted a thorough examination of all line items throughout each cost center and budget. Although a difficult process, we feel we've been able to accomplish that without reducing the quality of our academic or extracurricular programs and without negatively impacting the students. We believe that the outline the members of the Finance Committee will provide you with tonight should give you the information that you need to thoughtfully consider approval of the budget articles you will be asked to consider this evening. With that, I would like to introduce the members of the Finance Committee who will make the initial presentation. Meredith Harrop, our Chairman of the Finance Committee, will begin the review process tonight. Destiny Hughes will then wrap up the presentation with an explanation of the increases and/or decreases found within each cost center. I would also like to acknowledge Mark Hutchins and Scott Cole, who will not be presenting this evening, but dedicated a great amount of time and insight to the process. After these presentations, the moderator, Vern, will ask voters for consideration of the different warrant articles that are included in your flyer. We hope that you find this approach helpful, and we appreciate your support in approving the articles contained in tonight's agenda. Thank you.
Good evening. As Erin said, my name is Meredith Harrop. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate your time. We'll start this evening's details of the budget with an overview of the budget funding comparison. Then we'll move into a detailed breakdown of the cost centers, and then Destiny will present the details of the increases and decreases. This slide on line 1 shows the total general fund expenditure for the district, and it shows the difference between fiscal year 2024 to 2025, a 9.8% increase. On line 2, you see our state funding, and you'll see that is what Erin mentioned is almost $400,000 down from last fiscal year. On line 3, you'll see our other revenue, tuition, and transportation. Line 4 is our carryover from budget surplus of previous years.
People here, I just barely hear, I just wonder.
And can people see? Is this focused and it's me?
Can you turn the lights off?
Can it be turned up? The volume is there?
I can talk louder. So line, do you want me to repeat?
No.
Okay.
Just keep going. You're doing great.
So line 5 shows our revenue from non-local funding and carryover from previous years. Line 6 shows our required local share that has increased this year by $184,000. And then line 7 shows the additional local funding that will be required, which is an increase of $1.4 million. The next slide. That's okay. This slide shows a detailed breakdown of the 11 cost centers that the general fund budget is comprised of. This is standard for the state of Maine. And as a reminder, about 92% of the costs in the expenditures in the cost centers are fixed costs. 53% is salary and wages, 18.8% is benefits, and about 20% are additional fixed costs like utilities, insurance, workers' comp, and programming that directly impacts our students. Next, Destiny will go through a detail of each cost center and the increases and decreases.
Hi, I'm Destiny Hughes, so I'm going to go through the cost center breakdowns. Cost center 1 is our instructional expenditure. So this cost center has an increase of $432,885. This cost center is the salaries and benefits for all regular educational instructional staff, pre-K through grades 12. It also includes your additional program support for BAM, North Star, JMG, Seven Peaks, TFA, at the Bryant Pond, all field trips, the Boston support for the 5th graders, gifted and talented, supplies for staff, instructional software, books, copier expenses, substitute teachers, and everything else that goes along with that. Cost center 2 is special education, and in that we're seeing an increase of $415,307. This cost center is mostly affected because of staying in legal compliance with student IEPs. The following must be accounted to help educate students who qualify for special education. So this includes things like staff, transportation, supplies, and additional resources for speech, OT, PT, ed tech support, monitors, testing, and these are all required by law to meet the needs of the students. Cost Center 3, our career and technical education from Region 9, has a current decrease of $974. This amount is calculated based on the previous year's student enrollment and the budget that's given to us from them, based on their board. Cost Center 4 is other instructions, such as co-curricular and athletics. We see an increase of $32,630. This year there was an increase due to dues and fees, things like official fees increasing, salaries and benefits negotiated as part of Schedule B positions in the TEA contracts. The increase in middle school supplies is for new basketball uniforms for the boys and girls teams and help with transportation, either from contracted sources or coaching driving vans. And the trail maintenance is a new line to help maintain our cross-country and ski trail systems. Cost Center 5 is student support. This is seeing an increase this year of $40,990. This cost center covers guidance and social work, nursing, library technology, personnel, supplies, and equipment. This is also where your curricular work comes under, as well as district assessments, such as NWEA, AP exams, SATs, PSATs, and all other tests like that. The biggest decrease comes from the cutting of our district technology director, and this was a position that, the decrease, and then the position that we added was the district RN position to help meet the growing medical needs. So that was in that cost center that you're seeing as far as the salaries and benefits goes. Cost Center 6, System Administration. This has an increase of $27,691. This cost center pertains to the operations of the school board, including legal expenses, financial auditing services, and a new line to cover the contracted retirement benefits of one central office worker, payroll, budget, and public relations of the central office, and for the running of the district. Cost Center 7, School Administration, has an increase this year of $122,050. This cost center is for your building principals, assistants, secretaries, substitutes, salaries, and benefits. This is coming with a new position this year of a CPS Assistant Administrator, and it comes at the recommendation of the building principal and support of our committee to help with the increasing behavior needs and the desire to separate the social worker from the discipline situations, which is not her job, and to aid in classroom observations and instructional support, being the biggest building in our district. The accreditation reduction is due to the NEASC cycle for the high school, which was completed last year and doesn't come around again for another 10 years. Cost center 8 is transportation. We're seeing an increase of $176,980. As much as we've looked for help to aid us in our inability to cover the past 3 years with our bus driver shortage, we are facing another year with not enough drivers and being unable to get the kids to and from school without doing double bus runs, which has been hard for everyone. So due to this, we are working with a company called RideSource out of Oxford to help fill the needs for 3 routes next year and some special education van runs and some sports trips. There was a reduction in our costs and expenses for maintenance and salaries and benefits, but the contracted costs to the company will make up for that difference. The last cost center 9, is facilities maintenance. This has got an increase of $135,120. This is our buildings and grounds budget line. This is where all the supplies for the custodial upkeep of our buildings comes from, salaries and benefits for the custodians and maintenance workers as well. This covers the regular maintenance of the properties, inspections, groundworks, plowing, dues and fees, as well as our utilities for all district buildings. Utilities have continued to rise even as we continue to work and be efficient as we can. There's a CPS furniture line, which is to outfit the new pre-K classroom that will be in there. This Community Concepts collaboration is leaving, so they own everything in that classroom. So the furniture will need to be replaced if we can't already find items in storage. Our snow plowing line hadn't been adjusted in 10 years, so we have adjusted it to meet the actual cost of what we are spending on an annual basis. The 5-year capital improvement line is seeing an increase due to the list of projects that need to be done, projects that came to list from our Arlen and the building principals. They've identified needs for the coming year. We know we need roof repairs at CPS. We're looking to replace carpeting at both CPS and the Woodstock cafeterias. The PA system at Woodstock needs repair. We need some painting, and we're looking for getting some safer risers for the music department at Telstar, along with some outdoor scoreboards, hopefully, along with some security projects. So all great things that we're hoping to happen. So that is the breakdown of our cost centers and why we are seeing the increases that you have this year. Are there any questions? All right, we will go ahead and get started.
First of all, I want to say, awesome job, Finance Committee. That's a lot of work to do that. Great job on adding an RN position. Every school in the state should have an RN with the increasing medical needs of our students. I'm a little concerned with the percent increase that's expected of taxpayers. When you look at the rate of graduation students that are graduating, is it 29 kids that are graduating this year? Is it the lowest we've seen?
We do have a small class this year, yes.
So I'm trying to make sense of the increase in the budget, and we go from 45 to 50 kids in 5th grade, 29 kids in 12th grade.
That unfortunately has a lot to do with just babies being born in that specific year for our area, unfortunately. That's been a small class coming all the way up through.
And a lot of other things too. I know this is a hot topic, but I'm wondering, at Woodstock Elementary School, we have about 50 kids there this year, is that correct?
We're at 63 currently.
Okay. Is there any talk about consolidation of Woodstock Elementary School and Crescent Park Elementary School to save on the cost of it?
We have not had a conversation at this time. No.
That would occur to you.
Thank you. Yes?
This is the same sort of increase that we are all encountering at home,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. Admittedly, I'm on the board, but I'm impressed that it isn't greater, because we are maintaining services to our students that are not easily offered and are not cheap. And yet we are, well, we are advancing, we are increasing our costs at no greater rate than all of us must be experiencing. This suggests to me that it is a very carefully crafted budget that we need to support.
Thank you. As Aaron did mention, unfortunately, our state funding did go down exponentially this year. We saw an even larger increase because of last year. They had a slight error and didn't take as much from us as they were supposed to. So it hit even harder this year, being almost 400,000. That's a large chunk of that percentage. So that definitely has hit us harder. Is there any other questions?
I would just like to mention that the percentage increase was far higher than the finance committee started with. We were looking at 15%,
Yes,
I believe.
is where we started.
So we spent many hours whittling back what we could without impacting the students, without cutting programs, without changing crucial dynamics.
While still meeting the growing needs.
Absolutely. So while class sizes, or this particular class size is a smaller one, expenses do not. And unfortunately, the district and the schools are impacted just the same as taxpayers and everyone else in the district.
All right, Vern, all yours.
Thank you, Aaron, Stephanie, and Destiny, for presenting the budget. Very well done, thank you. I don't seem to have an agenda. The warrant. Got it? Sorry. Oh, okay. Article 1, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for regular instruction. The school board recommends $6,047,860. Could I have a motion from you, please? Yes.
Mr. Moderator, I make a motion that the body consider Articles 1 through 11 as a single vote, and at the school board recommendation for each article, but it'll be a single vote. Ultimately, the body accepts my motion.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor to vote on Articles 1 through 11 in one vote. Keep in mind that you can discuss any one of them that you want to discuss before we vote. Is that the wish of those present?
Second.
You wish to have vote all 10 articles in one vote? Yes? No?
Yes.
Good. Here we go. Articles 1 through 11. I gotta see where I'm at. Articles 1, I have a motion on the floor to vote on Articles 1 through 11 as they are presented with the school board recommendations. Any further discussion? If not, then I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of approving Articles 1 through 11 as they are presented, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Any opposed? Articles 1 through 11 are presented as, approved as presented. Article 12, Article 12, to see what sum the district will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, and to see what sum the district will raise and assess as each municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, in accordance with the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 28, Section 15688. Do I have a motion, please? Yes.
Mr. Moderator, I make a motion that the body accept Article 12 and the recommended amounts appropriated $7,270,619.54. Total to be raised $6,699,561.89.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve Article 12 as presented. Any discussion? Any questions? Not seeing any then, I'd ask for your vote. All those in favor of approving Article 12 as presented, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 12 is approved as presented. Article 13, we have to do this by written ballot. To see what sum the district will raise and appropriate in additional local funds. The school board recommends $5,033,145, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by $5,033,145. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any questions before we vote? Not seeing any then, I'd ask you to come down and cast your ballot, and we'll vote. Obviously, a yes approves it, a no defeats it.
I think it's because he's afraid to go.
Have all voted who wish to vote? We're almost there. If everybody's voted that wishes to vote, I will ask the clerk to open the casket. I don't know whether open the ballot box and count the ballots. We have to do something to bring her.
We're almost done.
Okay, the results of your vote, 26 ballots cast, 25 yes and 1 no. Article 13 is approved as presented. Thank you, Kelly and Amy, Kim and Amy. Article 14, to see what sum the district will authorize the school board to expend for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025, from the district's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act. non-state funded school constitution projects, construction projects, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. The school board recommends $15,494,246. Could I have a motion, please?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the body adopt Article 14 as recommended by the school board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve and adopt Article 14. Any questions on Article 14? If not, I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of Article 14 as read, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 14 is approved as presented. Article 15, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $50,000 from undesignated funds to the school nutrition program account? The school board recommends a yes vote. This is to help make sure our food service program remains in the black with a federal requirement at the end of each year, which is a federal requirement. Do I have a motion on Article 15?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the body adopt Article 15 as authorized the school board as described in the article.
Thank you. Do you have a second? Been moved and seconded. Any question on Article 15?
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the remaining amount that is still left in that budget? Aren't we paying down a debt certain? No? No? Okay.
They're in the black.
Then look, oh,
Yeah.
I know you used to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case.
Great. Anything further? Not seeing it then, I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of Article 15 as presented, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 15 is approved as presented. Article 16, shall the district appropriate $162,050 for adult education and raise $0 as the local share with authorization to expend any additional, incidental, or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and for the well-being of the adult education program. A yes vote is recommended. Could I have a motion, please?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the body adopt Article 16 as presented in the warrant.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any questions on Article 16 as presented? Not seeing any then, I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of Article 16 as presented, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 16 is approved as presented. Article 17, in addition to the amounts approved in the preceding articles, shall the school board be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs for other sources during the fiscal year for school and other program purposes, provided that the such grants, programs, or other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated. Could I have a motion, please?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the body adopt Article 17 as presented and recommended by the school board.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any question on Article 17? Not seeing any then, I'd ask for your vote. All those in favor of Article 17 as read, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 17 is approved as presented. Thank you for attending tonight's public budget meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. All in favor of adjourning? Thank you. Any opposed? We are adjourned.
After that,